Hello! Hello and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Teresa Fieberts and I am so happy that you are here with us this day. We've got a great time planned for you. You know, we are live streaming from my dining room right now into your home, wherever you happen to be, or your place of business, or your car, or wherever you are. What an amazing thing that is. What an amazing piece of technology, pieces of technology. All started with an idea. All started with an idea in the mind of God. You know, everything we experience in form has come from that vast, invisible realm. And that is what we're talking about all month long here at the center. So we're connecting hearts and minds, right? We're building community, and we've got folks tuning in from all over the world. And I really want to know who you are, where you're from. So I started asking this a few weeks ago, and I want to keep it up because I'm finding it very exciting. We had people from like 5 different states last month, and of course we've got Claudia typically tuning in from Austria, which is just our furthest that I know of at this point, and that's so exciting. So if you would, just tap it into Facebook where you are from, where you are. Even if you're here in Sarasota, let us know that you're with us, or in Bradenton, let us know that you're with us. And if you're coming in on YouTube, you know, you could switch over to your phone or your laptop real quick, or your keyboard, and just type it in. If you're watching on TV, you may not have the keyboard option. But anyway, I love knowing that there's this invisible thing called technology that is connecting us. It's really fascinating. So we're talking about that fascinating stuff this month. Creativity. There is this universal urge to express. There is this universal creative process that brings everything from the infinite possibility, realm of infinite possibilities, that invisible place that everything comes, this technology that we're using. And it comes through mind first, right? Everything that's created is first created in a thought. So that's what we're talking about this morning. And today we've got a really terrific program because we have our practitioners, our beloved licensed CSLCC practitioners, here to support you in this journey of what is the creative process and how does it work in my life. So I want to share a little bit with you about our practitioners, who they are, and what they do for you. And we have 6 licensed spiritual practitioners affiliated with our center. You're going to hear from 3 of them this morning, 4 of them this morning. And of course, Rev G and myself are practitioners. I don't include us in that number 6, so there's really 8 if you include us. And a minister is always a practitioner. We're first and foremost practitioners. And we also have 2 in training. So it's quite a consciousness base that we have here, and I'm excited about that. A practitioner has studied for a minimum of 4 years. A minimum of 4 years. Now, I will tell you that the 4 that you're going to hear from this morning, Julie Birch, Ethelyn Enos, Elaine Silver, and Bobby Fieberts, collectively, and I didn't ask them for the specific years that they found this teaching, but from what I know, we're easily 90 years with the 4 of them of building consciousness in this teaching. Now, formal training, and not 90 years, but doggone close. You know, Bobby's 30 years. Elaine, I'm sure, is about that. And Julie, definitely. So it's a very, very exciting, our community. And so I'm so happy again that you're here with us this morning, and you're going to get some wealth of information being shared with you. Our practitioners serve our community. And the obvious way that they serve our community is in prayer, right? So when you send in a prayer request, if you tell me on Zoom after the service that you've got something going on you want prayer for, or if you send an email, you use that prayer at CSL culturalcoast.org, and you send in a request there. However you get a prayer request to us, it's also, there's a button right on our email that I send out every Thursday. You can just simply click that, sends an email right to the practitioners. They do that. They pray over your prayer request, knowing your highest and best, for free. It's a free service that they offer. Now, when we were meeting in person, we would do what was sometimes called a 1-minute miracle, or knees to knees, a one-on-one short little meeting where you would just tell them briefly what's going on in your world, and they'd do a treatment with you. That's free. Now that we're not in person right in the moment with each other, but we have Zoom. Every Sunday after the service, we're there for an hour with one another, just checking in, usually talking about the message for the day and taking it a little deeper. But if you want prayer support, there's always a practitioner there. And I can move you and the practitioner into a private room. They're called breakout rooms on Zoom, where you can have a little conversation. That's free. If you chose to meet with a practitioner with what we call a session, which is typically around an hour long, a session is a one-on-one again, but you're going to go a little deeper, right? The practitioner is going to work with you and elicit some information that you may not even know is kind of driving some of what's going on in your world that you're actually complaining about. So what we're looking for is root cause, what we call root cause. It's that erroneous thought that we've bought into that's limiting our experience of life. And so those sessions do have a fee associated with them. All our practitioners may charge whatever they choose to charge, and upon your ability to pay, they will adjust their payment. We never turn anyone away. Never turn anyone away. But we don't charge for the prayer. I want that to be understood. We charge for the time and expertise that the practitioner is sharing with you, the time that they are spending with you, but also the time that went into building that consciousness, that they have a laser focus to be able to see and hear and feel through your story to the spiritual principle, to what needs to be ignited in consciousness, revived in consciousness, the truth about who and what you are. And so for that, those fees generally will range between $50 and $100, depending on the practitioner and depending on your ability to pay. There are some practitioners in our teaching, licensed practitioners, and they're all over the world, that have a full-time professional practice. Ernest Holmes did, his mother did. Many people, currently, we've got loads of practitioners that make a living on being a professional licensed practitioner. So I would encourage you to avail yourself of their services. Now, also behind the scenes, or also in front of the scenes, you see our practitioners on any given Sunday. Julie is one of our teachers. She teaches our curriculum. She is also our meditation coach, right? Our meditation guru, and we love having that. But what you may not know is Julie Birch also is posting those fabulous memes, those fabulous quotes and pictures that she puts together on Facebook for us. I just love what she comes up with, the creativity that she allows to move through her. And then Ethelyn, you see her often with her beloved Catherine doing the Sunday readings. She's also behind the phone calls that we do. When we reach out, when we're touching in with our community to see how everybody's doing, she's the organizer. She's the brain behind that process. And then, of course, Bobby and Elaine are musicians. They have music ministries of their own. And then behind the scenes, Bobby's always handling the technology in various ways, not just on Sunday morning, and countless other things that he does for me. And Elaine is a vice president of our board of trustees. So our practitioners are visible and behind the scenes, at work, supporting our spiritual community and you and your prayer requests. With that, all of us, you, every one of you, are practitioners. We are all practicing the spiritual principles, universal principles, and we are all creating every moment of every day, whether we're awake to it or not. So let's just take that idea into treatment real quick and say we're ready to wake up. I know that there is this infinite, loving and supportive universe in which I move and have my being in. And that love and support is holding me in this moment and every moment. And what I know for myself, I know for each person tuning in, I know for everyone everywhere, that there is this movement of spirit in and as our bodies, and the bodies of our affairs. Each individual is a divine incarnation of that one. And inherent in that truth is this creative process in which our thoughts become things into reality by means of this beautiful universe that has been provided to us, gifted to us. This is our superpower. And so I affirm for each one of us this day that there is an awakening, a deeper grasp of this truth, and a knowing, an awakening, an awareness of what thoughts need to be released, what thoughts have hindered our experience, and what we can claim for our greater good here, this day. And I affirm the power in that affirmation, in that declaration. This is a loving and supportive universe. And I know life is lifted by this knowing. This is a powerful, creative moment. And so we use it wisely. And so it is. Oh, again, thank you so much for being with us. Now we have a treat. We're going to start with one of our practitioners, Elaine Silver, who is going to lead us in song this day. Elaine.
Good morning. Yay, here we are. So everything Teresa said, I'm going to show you in a song, and it's called Energy in Motion. Everything is energy. And so things begin in mind. This is our teaching symbol. So we have 3 sections. So things begin in mind up here. This is the spiritual realm. This is the personal realm. This is our soul. This is where we have choice as expressions and extensions of spirit. And so this always says yes. We set this is the law. We set this in motion, and it comes out in the body, which is also known as our manifestation. So this is how we bring the formless into the form. So with energy in motion. Oh, and by the way, I have caught the haiku bug. So I'm going to start the song with the latest haiku, which is, an urge from within brings the formless to the formed. Manifestation. An urge from within brings the formless to the formed. Manifestation. Energy in motion. From an urge in my heart to a thought in my mind, then emotion, energy in motion. What I feel in my heart, I can see in my mind, then emotion, energy in motion. Moving as the law into body. Here we are, we're moving as the law into body. Moving as the law into body. Moving as the law into body. Manifestation. I am perfect, I am whole in my heart and in my soul. It's emotion, energy in motion. Trusting in the source, I'm on the sacred course of emotion, energy in motion. manifestation, transformation, celebration, co-creation, from an urge in my heart to a thought in my mind, and emotion, energy in motion, and so it is.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Energy in motion. Creativity. We're talking about creativity. My presentation is about the things that Thomas Edison, one of the most creative Americans we've heard of, and Ernest Holmes have in common. So you all know Thomas Edison was an amazing inventor, and he had more than 1,000 patents. Ernest Holmes was an amazing synthesizer. He put together a philosophy called Science of Mind and changed thousands of lives. Both these men had qualities that they shared, and I'd like to talk about that today. I want to start with persistence and focus. Everybody knows the story of Edison persisting and focusing and creating his electric light bulb. Thousands of experiments, thousands of failures to create this bulb. But not only did he create the bulb, he created the electric generator, he created the wire distribution, he created the whole system that got light into people's homes. Ernest Holmes persisted in the same way. He spent his whole life reading and studying the thread of truth that runs through all religions to create his philosophy. And he recommends that we all persist and focus on creating higher intelligence in ourselves. Edison, more than anyone, probably would agree with Holmes when he says, principle is not bound by precedent. Meaning just because something hasn't been done before doesn't mean it can't be done. And doesn't mean that once you've failed you can't do it. Well, failure is one of your steps to success. Holmes said we get valuable information from listening to our inner voice. The more we do it, the better we get at it. Edison had a particular method of listening to his inner voice. He would work on a problem with his conscious mind. He'd try everything he could think of. He could think of everything. He'd work on the problem until the ideas were all dried up and he couldn't think of anything else. When that happened, he'd relax at his workbench. He'd hold a steel ball in his hand, rest his elbow on the workbench, and he'd clear his mind, let his mind go clear, he'd drift away, let himself relax. And before he fell asleep, the ball would slip out of his hand and bring him to, and he'd always have an idea after doing that. He got himself into that place where the ideas were, and they came. It was a regular part of what he did. Both Edison and Holmes believed that we all could accomplish much more than we think we can. Edison said, if we did all the things we were really capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. Holmes says, but always the man who has faith in his own ability accomplishes far more than one who has no confidence in himself. Both men believed that everybody could work at a higher level. Edison said a genius is often merely a talented person who has done all his or her homework. Holmes believed that the example of Jesus was something we all should and could aspire to. I didn't put this together to make you marvel at two amazing people. I put this together because both of these men would say that you can do it too. With focused persistence, listening to your inner voice, you can improve and heal your world. And when you heal your world, you heal the world for everyone. I'm going to leave you with a few Edison quotes that I believe Holmes would have agreed with. To do much clear thinking, a person must arrange for regular periods of solitude when they can concentrate and indulge the imagination without distraction. Edison said, "Your worth consists in what you are and not in what you have." This next one, I thought Edison was literally quoting Holmes. He says, "I know this world is ruled by infinite intelligence. Everything that surrounds us, everything that exists, proves that there are infinite laws behind it. There can be no denying this fact. It is mathematical in its precision." And one more. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't. And now back to Elaine.
Thank you so much, Bobby. That was great. And I had a little change in plan. Came this morning on my bicycle. That's where I get quiet and alone and get ideas. And our theme this month is creativity. So I wanted to talk about the passion test, and I have a song about that. I'm a certified passion test facilitator. It's a very simple yet profound technique that helps us to get clear and to manifest what we want. And so basically, I'm just going to give you very quickly the two principles of the passion test. The first principle is a promise. The promise is when we are clear, and Bobby just talked about clarity, when we are clear, what we want shows up in our life, and only to the extent that we're clear. The second principle of the passion test is a creation process. So it begins with we have clarity, we have an intention. So we set a clear intention, and then we use the law of attraction and we put our attention on our intention. And the secret that actually changed my entire life was, yes, I was good at having intentions and putting attention on it, but we do all this with no tension, because what happens when we tense up? We stop the flow. So it's intention, attention, no tension. And the song's on the Passionate Ride. And the haiku that I came up with just before is add attention to intention with no tension. Gives us what we want. On the Passionate Ride. You catch more flies with honey when you match the infinite vibe. And there are gifts worth more than money. It's a passionate kind of ride. Ooh, on the passionate ride. We're going on the passionate ride. And life can be real funny. It can take your breath away. And just like flies, like honey, we're moving in a passionate way. Ooh, in a passionate way. We're moving in a passionate way. I am focused on intentions. They have my full attention. Releasing any tension. When you focus on intentions, you're giving them your full attention. Releasing any tension. You're going with the flow. 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 'Cause you catch more flies with honey, and gratitude greases the wheel. It's a gift worth more than money when we honor how we feel. Ooh, when we honor how we feel. When I honor how I feel. When you honor how you feel. When we honor how we feel. I am focused on intentions. I'm giving them my full attention, releasing any tension. When you focus on intentions, you're giving them your full attention, releasing any tension. Going with the flow. You're going with the flow. I'm going with the flow. I'm going with the flow. 'Cause you catch more flies with honey when you match the infinite vibe. And there are gifts worth more than money. It's a passionate kind of ride. Ooh, on the passionate ride. We're going on the passionate ride. On the passionate ride. We're going on the passionate ride. And so it is. Thank you.
And so it is, Elaine. I'm Julie Birch, one of the prayer practitioners here at CSLCC. And I am going to guide us in a few moments of meditation. But first, let me say that meditation is one of the wonderful ways that we can align ourselves with Source. When we pray, when we do spiritual mind treatment, we first have this step called recognizing, where we just recognize that we are a part of this divine energy, this all-powerful, infinite resource. And then we unify, we consciously know our connection. And what better way is there to put our mind in alignment with Source than to practice meditation? It exercises our psycho-spiritual muscles. And so join me in a moment as we begin to meditate for a few minutes. But before we go into meditation, like Elaine said, it helps to put our attention on our intention. And so when I pray, or any of the practitioners prays, we put our attention on what we want for someone. We know their truth. Or what we want for ourselves. We know our own truth. Putting our attention on the intention is sometimes called the mental equivalent. Holding our mind on that which we want, not focusing on that which we don't want. I ask you right now, what would you like more of in your life? Greater vitality and better health? Would you like more energy? What would that look like? Would you like greater abundance, more career satisfaction, an improvement, more harmony in a relationship, or better transportation? Whatever it is that you would love to see more of, can you hold it in your mind's eye for just a moment right now? What would that look like and feel like to you? As we go into meditation, after a few minutes, I'll ask you to call up that which you would love to see increase in your life. We'll have our attention on your intention. And so join me now, and let's go into meditation in a certain posture. Let's lift our hearts and bring our head back so that it's over our shoulders if you're comfortable doing so. Allowing our bones to just line up and our muscles to hang from our bones in a state of relaxed, upright ease. And if you're comfortable doing so, just close your eyes for a few minutes. And notice your breath. Just feel it moving. Don't do anything with it in particular. But as you exhale, allow yourself to relax into the moment. Perhaps relaxing your jaw. letting go of the muscles in your shoulders, the tightness you might be carrying there. Letting go of any tension in your forehead. Feeling the ease of those muscles as they melt around your eyes, letting it all go. What does it feel like to let go of those muscles and have them relaxed? Noticing how the hands feel. Is there a heaviness where they're relaxing? Take a moment and just feel the heaviness of the hands. And if your mind wanders, bring it back to experiencing the sensation of the heaviness of the hands relaxing. And feel where you're sitting. Can you simply bring your attention to where your body meets the floor or the chair, wherever you are making contact with what is supporting you? What is happening in your chest when you breathe? Can you feel an expansion? Can you feel your shoulders moving on the in-breath and the out-breath? Take a moment and just be with the presence of your body. Be present to whatever sensations there are in a gentle way. If there's discomfort, you can tune into the edges of the discomfort, or you can turn away from it and be in a more comfortable place in your body. Or you can even shift into a more comfortable position. Now I'm asking you to call to mind. Imagine, use your imagination and imagine you're going to a very safe and happy room. Perhaps you can see out the window a sight that is so beautiful it just brings joy to your heart. What would you see outside that window that makes you happy and uplifted? Anything you want. Put a small smile on your face as you imagine what you would see out that window. Or what you would know is out that window if you can't see it. Now imagine back inside that room, that comfortable, safe space. Imagine a magic canvas. And as you think of that which is your heart's desire, as you put your attention on your intention, you see it coming into fruition on that canvas. what would it look like? As you hold your attention on your intention, the picture forms on the canvas. And we know that we manifest it right there. This or something better. That which is your heart's desire, what you're holding your attention on, the mental equivalent. And sometimes we don't get exactly what we want. Sometimes we get something better. Sometimes we get something better, but it takes a little longer than we thought it would. When we hold our attention on the intention, when we carry our mental equivalent, when we have an attitude of receptivity and gratitude, and give thanks for knowing this power, this truth. We wind up moving into life as happier beings, as happier people. And when we're happier, it is so much easier to be a force of good in our own lives and in the world at large. We do our work to benefit the world. And so with a heart full of gratitude and knowing that any feelings of calm, happiness, or positive expectation that you came into contact with during this period of meditation, knowing that they are a natural part of who you are, allow them to run in the background for the rest of your day. And slowly open your eyes or keep them shut as we enjoy the next beautiful song by our very own Elaine Silver.
Thank you, Julie. Wow. That was great. That was really special to me. And I wanted to acknowledge when Bobby talked about, in order for us to manifest and to be empowered, we need to have confidence. I have confidence. And many of you know that I ride my bicycle almost every morning, and I'm in heaven when I'm on the bike. And one day, I was riding up by the levee. We have a levee in Sarasota, and there's not usually people there. And so I saw some people way down ahead, and suddenly I had this reflexive thought that once I thought it, I couldn't believe it, and I thought to myself, oh, if they mug me, they'll get my cell phone and $20. And I'm like, where'd that come from? That's what we call race consciousness. We're born into that. So that came from somewhere. So I'm like, cancel. And, not wanting to stay in that energy. And so as I rode up, and I rode up to the people, it looked like it was a couple. It was a man and a woman. She was walking a few steps behind him, and I think they were arguing. And that may be where I picked up kind of that vibe. And so, I say hello to everybody. So I say, good morning. And it was as if I wasn't even there. And so then reflexively, I'm kind of the class clown sometimes. So just reflexively, I said, what am I, invisible? And as soon as I said that, I started to write the song about being an invisible woman with superpowers. So I'm going to sing it for you, but first I want to give you the haiku that came yesterday. I'm invisible with many superpowers flowing through me now. I'm invisible with many superpowers flowing through me now. An invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. And I got superpowers. an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman, blessed with superpowers. My power is my consciousness. My power is my happiness. My power is my gratefulness. My power is my gracefulness. My power is my mindfulness. My power is my joyfulness. My power is my peacefulness, flowing in and out of bliss. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. And I got superpowers. The love I share and the grace I show bring me to that sacred flow. I know how to shift and grow, and I'm an empowered woman. Life is full of challenges. Life is a game that can be played, turning lemons to lemonade. And I'm an empowered woman. And the power is at our command. My power is my consciousness. My power is my happiness. My power is my gratefulness. My power is my gracefulness. My power is my mindfulness. My power is my joyfulness. My power is my peacefulness, flowing in and out of bliss. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I got superpowers. I got superpowers. Blessed with superpowers. So it is. Thank you so much.
Hello there, beautiful people. I'm Ethelyn Enos, and let me get right into it. Let me start by saying that I'm having a love affair with clarity. Yes, clarity. I find it to be a fascinating and life-changing tool. I mean, let's face it, when ideas, thoughts, feelings, perspectives are made crystal clear, the life you want to create is made crystal clear. And so too it is with beliefs. Beliefs. You clean up, clear up, so you can hold on to the beliefs that support the life you want to create. So I have two stories for you. And the first one starts like this. There's a man and his wife sitting at the breakfast table, looking out the back window into the neighbor's yard, seeing laundry that has been hung. And he makes a comment to his wife. Honey, look at that laundry. It looks dirty. He says, you know, maybe someone ought to go over there and teach them how to wash their clothes, or else suggest another detergent. Well, 3 days go by and the couple is at the breakfast table again, looking out the back window into the neighbor's yard. Only this time, the man is looking at the laundry very intently. And he says, honey, look at the laundry. It's clean. It's crystal clean. Someone must have gone over there and talked about how to do their laundry or buy another detergent. And the wife puts her hand on the shoulder of her husband and says, darling, I woke up this early. I woke up this morning early and I cleaned the windows. My second story is a personal story. I was 2 weeks away from completing Practitioner 2 and actually nearly 8 years of studies to become a practitioner. And with only those 2 weeks left, I decided I was going to quit. Family concerns, doubts about being able to serve as a practitioner to a large community. The confusion went on and on. I was on the 1-yard line about to score a goal. And I was so confused, I was ready to just walk right off the field. Part of me was sad and depressed. Part of me was relieved. So I made one phone call to my classmate who was and is now my prayer partner. And she helped me realize that cause of chaos and confusion are temporary. The truth is that if I am one with Source and universal intelligence, then there isn't a cell in my body that was created with confusion. My true self knows this innately, but I needed that clarity and that nudge to align with the intentions and desires that were deep in my soul. My prayer partner and I agreed together, after much discussion. We discussed this and came to a final thought, and that is this: growth, expansion, infinite life are continuous. The goal line is just one more experience to cross over. And after the goal is eternal opportunity and creative expression. It doesn't end. It keeps going. So with that kind of clarity, I was able to realign with my intentions, finish my course, and become a practitioner with this community. I had a real clear shift in consciousness, which brings up 3 shifts in consciousness that I want to talk about that come out of these stories I just told. Shift number 1, we shift from the false to the truth. When our human perspective is limited, we can let go of beliefs that we are holding on to that no longer serve the fullness of our expression. We reconnect with our truth and gain a window-like view to our soul, which is long-term and eternal. The second shift, shift number 2, effect to cause. All effects and conditions are temporary when we make our desires clearly known. That clarity of ideas and desires is what the creative mind receives and returns, just like Bobby spoke of. And shift number 3, from outer circumstances to that place within. That place in each of us that truly knows what and who we are. My stories convey a vital part of science of mind philosophy and practice. As we become clearer and clearer in our mind and in our hearts about the life we want to create, creative mind responds directly to that clarity. I want to end with a quote from Reverend Christian Sorensen. If you are doing an honest internal check, You may find a number of places your attitudes and actions were less than clean. And whether any of those points and places played a role in a portion of your life that desires change, it is good to look at them clearly. Namaste.
Reverend Emil, I believe that you're muted.
There we go. I'm talking now. I'm talking, and you can hear me. Sometimes I put it on mute just in case. So anyway, I am full to overflowing. I've been taking notes for the whole time. Can't really read it, but I've been writing and writing and writing. Going back to Bobby's quote from Thomas Edison, who sounds like he's speaking from the wisdom of the universe, which of course he is. When you think you've exhausted all possibilities, you haven't. Think of our lives. Think of all the things that have unfolded in your life, even though you may have thought that things were not going well. All the different things. Michael Beckwith used to say that the effect is the cause of the next solution, the next activity, that constantly as things come up, it's the creative impulse that drives us forward into whatever that next thing is. Interesting experience I get 2 or 3 times a year is I write the circulation column. I write 3 of those a year over about 10 years now. And I don't know when they're going to be published. And then I get the magazine and I open it up, and it's always next to the page that has the donation envelope in the magazine. So I get the magazine, there's the envelope, I open it up, and I get to look at, my own smiling face. And then I say, what did I write? What did I write? And I just wanted to read a paragraph from this last one. And it says, circulation creates the flow that makes the law of attraction and a whole lot more work. This is true for individual prosperity and the prosperity of our centers. When we practice freely giving and receiving, we create the environment of growth together. And okay, so you may say, gee, I'm X, I can say I'm 71 years old. How much more growth should I experience? Tons. Why not tons? And not just in wealth, because that's just a small piece of the allness that each one of us is. We have our centers, we have our flow, we have love, we have togetherness, we have all of these things that each of the others spoke about in Julie's meditation, and Effie's story, and the songs of Elaine and Bobby's readings, all of these things. And so as you think about your circumstance, and Mary Morrissey talks about circumstance, that's the things that surround us right now. And what if you step outside that circle, meaning the circle, and simply know that there's more beyond that. There's something unfolding. And so when I talk about flow, I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about your whole life. Where is there's something stuck, or where you're feeling stuck, like you're not moving forward? You need to go to that space of clarity that Effie talked about, as she's saying, that she was having a whole new respect for clarity, because when we get clear, we're clearing away the stuff. So let's clear away the stuff. Let's see ourselves prospering in the infinite flow. That flow is of every aspect of our being. Ernest Holmes says perfect assimilation, circulation, and elimination. Assimilation, we're taking in energy, we're taking in information, we're taking in food, we're taking in water, we're taking in all this stuff mentally, physically, ethereally, and we assimilate it. We use it. It flows within us, and then we give forth energy. So I know that as we come together here, come together in this virtual community, we are supporting the idea of the physical community that we were and that we will be again, but we haven't really stopped being. I haven't lost my physical form, and that you're watching this, neither have you. So let's just know that we are here supporting this infinite and beautiful community we call Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And just know with me that there is one power, one source, one energy flowing in, through, and as each one of us. It expresses as you, as me, as everything that we see. And I know that as we recognize that flow, that movement, that energetic activity, that there is a prosperity that flows in all aspects of each life. Your life, my life, all lives connected to this center. And as it flows, we bring it forth to flow as the infinite expression and divine expression that we call the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And so I know it is good. I know it is very good. I bless the givers, and I bless the gifts that we receive from the abundance of the universe that expresses as each one of us listening right here and right now. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev G. Thanks very much. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Yay! We receive and we pass it on. That is exactly that assimilation circulation that Reverend Rev G was just talking about. Thank you all for being here with us today, huh? This was really fabulous. I'm reading some of your comments. It was really exciting. Good stuff. Good stuff. I just have a couple quick announcements, and then we're going to go back to Rev G for a closing prayer for us. But I just loved, Elaine, your songs, and Julie, your meditation, and Ethy, always your sharing is just so sweet. I got some cool insights on that meditation. I love doing this. I love our practitioners. Please avail yourself of their services. And I encourage you to do that. And at the end of the service, I always put up a post, a slide with their phone numbers if you want to contact them directly, or again, you can do the prayer at cslculturalcoast.org. With that, I want to encourage you to be on our mailing list, and don't just sign up for the email list. The email comes out on Thursday morning, but read it. And I say that lovingly from my heart, with a little exasperation possibly behind it, because I hear so often from my dear friends, those of you in the community that will say, well, what about this? Or how do I do this? Or, well, I didn't know about that. And you know what? That information is always in the email. So sign up on Facebook. There's a button there to sign up. On our website, there's a button there to sign up. And our website is cslculturalcoast.org. But I send them out on Thursday mornings. We've got an upcoming workshop. We're going to have some more classes announced soon. The workshop's at the end of the month. The whole month, as I said, is on creativity. So watch out for what creative little surprises we're going to have for you throughout the rest of the month. And we also been, our membership is open right now. So there's information out there about that. And our annual meeting is scheduled for November 14th, Sunday, November 14th, after the service. And we'd love for everybody to show up for that as well. With that, I'm going to go post the link to do our Zoom after the service. So hoping that our practitioner is going to come on and you'll have an opportunity to talk with them, ask them maybe some questions about their training or whatever is up for you that you would like to talk about. That's what we're going to do next. And with that, I'm going to turn it over and let Rev G pray us out. Thank you. I love you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Reverend Teresa. And I would like to do something just a little bit different this morning. And when I was down at the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, interesting that I went from one CSLCC to another CSLCC, we used to do something called Standing in the Light. And what we did, all in the same room, was hold hands. And so I want to imagine that you'd imagine closing your eyes, holding out your hands, and energetically, we're holding hands with the entire community. Energetically, we are feeling that conduit between ourselves and the center and back out to everyone else. So we're flowing an energy right here and right now that we're joining together in this flow. And as you join together in this flow, part of what the Standing in the Light was to speak a prayer request, a personal prayer request or a prayer request for someone that was near and dear to us. And so first, I would like you to bring to mind someone else that you would like to make a prayer request for. Hold that thought, hold that individual, hold that request. And now, hold a request for yourself. Place where you would like to flow a little bit more, or whatever it might be. Now, I consider feeling better health-wise, flowing better. So it all flows. As you can tell, it's my favorite word. So we have our dear, close individual, we have ourselves. And now as we're connected through this, through the ethers, have a prayer request for the prospering of our center, the uplifting of everything that is involved, of Reverend Teresa and Bobby, who are at the center of the center, who are holding the energy for us from day to day and minute to minute, and just hold them in that high energy, that this center is prospering, growing, expanding, fully supported in the energetic of the law. And just repeat these words after me, either in your head or out loud. This is what I know. There is one power, one presence throughout the universe, flowing and moving and expressing itself right here as each one connected in this energetic field that we have created around the center and flowing from the center back out again. That we are all connected. And as we are connected, we are in the flow, we are in the movement, we are in the energetic field of creativity, of creative activity. And that creative activity is expressing as a higher expression of each one of us right here and right now, in our relationships, in our prosperity, in our movement, in our creativity, in all the different ways that we can express in this universe. And so I know that as we are in the flow, each and every one of us, that we are not only in the flow, we are part of creating the flow from the natural energy that flows in through and as us, that we were endowed with, imbued with, when we were brought into physical form. I know that everything is growing and flowing and expanding right here and right now as each one of us is growing and flowing and expanding in this moment. So in that energetic, I am deeply grateful. I know it is already done. I know that this word is a law unto itself. And as I release it, put it out onto the waters, it cannot come back to us unfulfilled, that it only comes back fulfilled thereof. So I name it good and very good. And once again, with great gratitude, I release this into the law, knowing that it is indeed already done. And so it is. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful life. And thank you for being with us this morning.